Greetings, everybody. My name is Dacus Giesland with the Coastal Fisheries Division. I serve as our Deputy Director there at Texas Parks and Wildlife for our Coastal Fisheries Division. Welcome to our public hearing regarding the oversized spotted sea trout tag system. The purpose of our meeting here tonight is discuss a proposal that we have going before the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission next week. That's both Wednesday and Thursday, March 27th and 28th. That's going before them for regulation change and direct comments on our proposal to our online comment portal. For tonight, I'll remind our audience of the regulations that will become effective on March 26th. I'll walk through the current tag-based proposal, and then I'll navigate through our public comment portal on our online, through our online system, through our homepage. We'll then end with a brief Q&A session with our team answering questions relevant and germane to the proposal submitted through the Q&A section. Holly kind of went through that. So if you, as we go through this, if you'll submit your questions through that Q&A box, we'll answer those at the end. All right. Okay, so as a reminder, following the commission action taken in late January, new spotted sea trout regulations will go into effect on Tuesday, March 26th. Those regulations include a 3-fish daily bag limit, a slot limit from 15 to 20 inches, and the allowance of one oversized trout greater than 30 inches can be retained as part of that daily bag limit. And again, those regulations will go into effect on March 26th. So, folks, based on the feedback we collected through several public scoping meetings back in October, in addition to 6 public hearings we held in January, and then a very engaged discussion with our commission in January related to oversized spotted sea trout and the tag system, your coastal fisheries team developed the following proposal and will seek adoption of this very proposal at the commission meeting next week. So that proposal in a nutshell includes the following. One spotted sea trout over 30 inches per licensed angler per year via a tag. This is proposed to be very, very similar to the existing red drum tag. The optional purchase of an additional bonus tag per year for a $3 fee for licensed anglers, or purchase of an oversized tag for those exempt anglers that aren't required to have a license. Again, the removal of one fish over 30 inches as part of the daily bag until the oversized tag is implemented. So as of March 26th, that one over 30 inches will be part of your bag limit. We're also proposing to remove that as part of this proposal going to the commission next week. Until a such time where we have that license system in place for the next license year. That license year begins on September 1 of 2024. However, our team at the department, both our licensing and our app development team, will have that tag system in place, both in paper and in digital license format at the time that license year 25 license sales go on sale on August 15th of 2024. So those tags and those licenses will be ready to go, assuming that the proposal is adopted. Now, I'd like to share a few benefits and associated impacts of the proposal. And when we evaluate these proposals, specifically this one in the context of our harvest monitoring program, which is simply our creel surveys at our boat ramps and docks that we've been doing for almost 50 years. But for this one, we looked at the 5-year average prior to the freeze, that freeze that we had in February 2021. We looked at the previous 5 years. And we see that a very small percentage of larger trout are being harvested based on an annual average landings of about 350,000 trout. You can see that 1/100% are greater than 30 inches. Those are those extremely large kind of catch of a lifetime trout. Similarly, 0.08% of those trout are greater than 28 inches. So what that means is that equates to about 50 trout greater than 30 inches per year are coming through our creel surveys, and approximately 300 trout greater than 28 inches are coming through in our creel surveys. These larger trout don't account for a significant portion of the spotted sea trout population. However, that said, these larger fish are incredibly valuable to our anglers, and by protecting these larger trout and leaving more of them in our bays, we are thus providing additional angling opportunities to catch those fish. Now I'd like to share, I just talked about our creel surveys and our harvest program. I'd like to share what we see in our what we call our fisheries independent data through our routine gill net monitoring. And when we looked at this, we took this back 10 years. So this is a reflection, or what we think of as a reflection, of that size structure of the spotted sea trout population coast-wide. What's reflected in our gill nets, which targets those adult fish. You'll see on the y-axis is the percentage of total fish caught, and on the x-axis is simply the size classes in inches of those trout. And when we look at those larger trout in the coast-wide population, again, those that are caught within our gill nets, we see that 9.1% of those trout caught in our gill nets are larger than 25 inches. Similarly, 22.3% of those trout are larger than 28 inches. And for those 30-inch trout, only not even a percent, 0.4% of trout, 0.4% of trout are larger than 30 inches that come through in our gill net surveys. So again, by protecting those larger trout over time, we would expect these percentages to actually increase and provide that increased opportunities for anglers to catch that trout of a lifetime. I'll now walk you through a timeline of some of the recent trout regulations and the proposed regulations. Starting at the very far left, our previous regulation proposal, including that 3-fish bag, the 15 to 20-inch slot, and 1 fish over 30 inches as part of the daily bag, was approved at that January commission meeting that I mentioned earlier. Again, those regulations go into effect on Tuesday, March 26th. And then on Wednesday, March 27th, during the commission work session, Coastal Fisheries will brief the commission on the proposal and share the public comment summary with them. That proposal will be strictly to the tag and the associated fee. The following day, March 28th, at the commission hearing, we'll seek adoption of the oversized trout tag-based system and the associated fee, and for a bonus tag, and do away with the 1 oversized fish per day that would have gone into effect on March 26th. So assuming the proposal is adopted by the commission there on March 28th, sometime in mid-May, the rule will go into effect prohibiting the harvest of an oversized trout until such time that that tag system is put into place. And we expect that to be put into place in earnest August 15th. That's where it would be implemented into the new licenses. It wouldn't go into effect until September 1. So if that tag is adopted, that tag proposal is adopted, that'll be in place for license year 2025 with regulations effective September 1st. So with that, I'll kind of pause here and appreciate everybody attending, staying engaged in the process and attending tonight. I encourage you all to participate in the process by providing your position on the proposal discussed here through our online public comment portal linked in the QR code on your screen. Conversely, you can also email us at cfish@tpwd.texas.gov. And now I'd like to navigate through our website. Sometimes that website can be even confusing for myself. So I'll walk through our website and point you all to the public comment portal. Simply from our homepage, halfway down, if you go to the TPWD homepage, halfway down the page, you'll see the link to comment on proposed regulations and transactions. We've got that highlighted in that red circle here. You'll want to click that link, that comment on proposed regulations and transactions link. Once you do that, that'll take you to the page titled Comment on Proposed Regulations and Transactions. What you'll want to do is scroll all the way down to that proposed fee rules, spotted Seatrout tags, and proposed spotted Seatrout harvest rules. You'll want to click that link. The next spot you'll land, you'll need to fill in your name, the county of residence, and indicate if you hold a hunting or fishing license, both or neither. You'll continue scrolling down, get there, and this is where you can provide your comments. After providing your name, county residence, and your license types or none, scroll down to the comments section to provide your position on the tag proposal and the associated $3 fee for the bonus tag. I'd encourage you to please read this carefully and provide your position on the proposal. You have that option down here in this explain box. You've got 500 characters to further explain your position in that dialog box. If you continue scrolling down to the next comments section, you can provide your position on the proposal harvest limit of one oversized trout, 30 inches or greater per year, with the option to retain an additional oversized trout with the purchase of that bonus tag. Again, very similar and parallel to the tag system we already have in place and folks are accustomed to with our red drum. So again, I'd encourage you to please read this carefully and provide your position on the proposal. Again, you've got that comment box to explain your proposal. And once again, I'll stop here, give you a chance to scan that QR code. If you've got it up on your screen, you can scan that QR code. That'll take you directly to that link. As always, appreciate folks tuning in tonight and participating in the process. I know we've got some questions in the queue there, so I will. I'm going to read those, and the way we're going to do this, gang, is I'll read through those question and answers. Those questions, and I will pass those off to some of our team here that's attending tonight. So the first one I see, is there any possibility of the bass share lunker type program for larger trout? Now, excellent question. Excellent question. We already, that was discussed at the commission meeting, and we kind of already do that in the fact that we gather brood stock from the base systems, we bring them to our hatcheries, and we use those brood fish in a way that they go back to those respective base systems. Now, the true kind of share lunker model would be, collecting the big 28, 25, 28, 30-inch trout and taking those back to the hatchery. We're looking into that. I can tell you that we get more bang for the buck out of kind of those smaller size classes, but there very well may be some genetic advantage, just like we've seen in the freshwater system, some genetic advantage or benefit to using those larger fish at that later stage in their life in our production capacity. So we're currently looking into that. All right. So we've got kind of two questions that are, and Hannah, I'm going to punt this one to you if you need some assistance here. The question, I'll read it aloud and then I'll give it to Hannah. Why was 30 inches used as the upper length limit?
Yeah, thank you for that. So 30 inches was determined to be the length that would still allow an opportunity for folks to catch a trophy fish. Fish above 30 inches are nearing the state record, so there's still opportunity for that. while still allowing those larger fish to remain in the water. They're passing on those genetics of having or of being able to reach those larger sizes. And also just we're keeping more large fish in the water. So there's more opportunity to catch them. So that was the limit that was set by the commission in the last meeting based on those principles.
Yeah, and to that point, we've got a very similar question in the Q&A about, the 30-inch proposal was not originally proposed. It was the 25 inches, and then in the January commission meeting, that moved up to 28, and then over to 30. And that, I can tell you, as part of the process, once these proposals get to the commission, they're often discussed at length, and the commission, once we bring the proposal to the commission has that authority to adopt as is, or they can modify that proposal, or they can table it, and in other circumstances they can reject that proposal. So this is an example where that proposal went before the commission, and after a very robust and engaged discussion, they landed at 30 inches for this particular proposal. Now, that said, once we go back next week, I anticipate another very engaged and robust discussion. So the commission again has that authority to change, to modify, to table, or reject those proposals.
And I'll add to that too, Dacus, that some of that length limit that was set at 30 inches was the result of public comment that the commission did hear. So we do read every single comment that's submitted, and we do quantify those and present them to the commission. Additionally, there's an opportunity to comment in person in front of the commission on the Thursday of those meetings. So just to reassure folks that their comments are heard throughout this process as well.
Yeah, thanks for that, Hannah. No, folks, and that's a good point. I mean, the comments are carefully analyzed and categorized, and then quantified, and then summarized in the form of a couple of slides that we show to that we share with the commission during those hearings. So Holly, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'll pass it back over to you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Dacus. So like I said earlier, and for maybe anyone who joined us a little bit late, you will be receiving an email from Zoom tomorrow with a link to our YouTube channel where you can view a recording of this webinar if you need to go back and look at especially what to put in each one of those comment sections, and a link to that comment portal if you are on a device like a phone and can't scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. There will be a link in that email. So again, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Please feel free to reach out to us at that cfish@tpwd.texas.gov email address if you have any additional questions or concerns. And yeah, thank you all so much again for joining us, and thank you to our Parks and Wildlife staff for being online as well. See everyone next time.